Everyone watching this video right now have used platforms like Claude or ChatGPT. But have you ever stopped to think what these companies actually do with your data? You're handing a lot of documents, images, sensitive data, company IP over to companies and you don't even know where it's going to end up. Odysseus AI is trying to fix that. This is a free AI workspace where all of your conversations, files, memory, your second brain, everything is stored on hardware that you own. And yes, this is completely private. You don't even have to use paid providers, and I even hooked up local models that I downloaded using Ollama and LM Studio. This means that all of these conversations, all of the files that I send to the agents, everything that gets added to the second brain, images in the gallery, everything is running within this instance that I control and own. And Odysseus includes a whole bunch of really cool features that I think you guys will enjoy as well, like this deep research feature where I actually asked a free model running on my own machine to perform some deep research for me. And just look at this report. Just because it's a free local model does not mean it's not good at doing deep research. This is an extremely detailed document. It even includes things like screenshots and diagrams, everything that you would want from deep research. So in this video, we'll explore Odysseus together. I'll show you how to set up locally on your own machine using local models, and I'll show you how to self-host it on a VPS and connect it to a paid provider like OpenAI or OpenRouter. That way, it's always online and you can access it from anywhere, including your phone. So let's dive in. Right, first things first, you can access Odysseus from the GitHub repository, which I'll link to in the description of this video. I do want to mention that Odysseus was actually created by PewDiePie, so I guess anyone can actually become a vibe coder and build something useful. At the time of recording, this repo has about 80,000 stars, and I do want to mention that it falls under the AGPL3 license, so if you're planning to fork this and rebrand it as your own software, you definitely just want to go through this license yourself. On this repo, we can also see all of the core features, which we will explore in this video. Thankfully, the setup process is really simple. Before we run these commands, we do have to install a few dependencies. First, we need to install Docker Desktop. I'll also link to this website in the description. So from this page, simply download Docker Desktop for your operating system. Afterwards, when you start Docker Desktop, it will look something like this. You won't have any containers running. You will also have to install Git. I'll also link to this page in the description. So from this page, simply select your operating system and then click this link to download and install Git. Right, then what you have to do is simply create a new folder on your machine. Like I just created this little AI folder on my C drive. Then from this folder, let's open up our command prompt or terminal or PowerShell or whatever you're using. Then let's copy the very first command and run it in our command prompt. This will simply download all the Odysseus files to your machine. Then we can simply cd into the Odysseus folder. And then I guess if you are using Mac or Linux, you can run this cp command. But because I'm using command prompt, that's actually not going to work. So what I can also do is just go into the folder and just look for this .env.example file and rename this to .env. Then let's copy the final command. Then let's run this in the command prompt. And this is going to download all the Docker containers. And this is also why we had to install Docker Desktop. Once that's done, you can go back to Docker Desktop and you should see this Odysseus container. Within here, we've got a couple of images running. This is simply like for the Chroma DB, for the database, and the rest of the project dependencies. Now, the one we're looking for is the one running on port 7000. If we click on this link, it's going to open this page, and now all we have to do is sign in. So the question is, where do we find this username and password? Well, what we have to do is click on this main root container. This will show all of these logs on the side over here. So all we have to do is scroll all the way up, look for this section where it's showing the initial admin. So the username is admin, and then the temporary password, we can just copy from here and just paste that into the password field, and let's sign in. And now we've got access to Odysseus. Awesome. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to go to our settings. Let's go to account. And let's change our password. So this will just overwrite that initial password. Let's update this. Alright, so by default, we don't have access to any models. If I click on this model selector, nothing comes up. Odysseus is giving us a little bit of a hint. It's saying we can run this /setup command to get started. So if we type /setup, we get access to a whole bunch of different providers. Now, I am going to show you how you can use LM Studio and Ollama with Odysseus, but what you can also do is go to Cookbook, and Cookbook will actually recommend models based on your hardware. So it should find and recommend models that you can run on your own hardware. So when you click on a model name, it will give you the option to download the model or to run it. So first click on download, and this will actually try to download the model from Hugging Face. But you will also see this warning saying that you are sending unauthenticated requests to Hugging Face, and you have to provide a Hugging Face token to enable higher rate limits and faster downloads. The fix for this is actually really easy. Simply go to huggingface.co and just create an account. Then from this drop-down, go to Access Tokens. Then just create a new token. This needs to be a read token. I'll just call this one delete me. And then I'm just actually going to stop this download. All right, let's go to settings and then paste in that Hugging Face token and press enter. So if we try that download again, I think it was this one. Let's click on download. Now it's saying the Hugging Face token has been applied, and now we're not being rate limited or throttled on this download. All right, but as I mentioned at the time of recording, I can't get this to work. So it downloads the model just fine, but when I try to run the model, it just crashes. So I'm sure that will be patched soon, but to be honest with you, I prefer using Ollama and LM Studio for this. So let me show you how to set those up. First, let's have a look at Ollama. This is probably the most popular platform for running models locally on your hardware. So to download it and to set it up is really easy. Just go to ollama.com and then just go ahead and download and install Ollama. Then to download a model, simply go to the models page, and then you can search for a model and try to find something that will fit into your VRAM. So if you've only got 16 gig of VRAM, try to find a model that's only about 16 billion parameters. So typically, that's a very rough math, but that's typically how it would work. And simply copy the name of the model. Then in your command prompt, simply run the command Ollama pull followed by the model name. Now, I've already downloaded this model, but I just wanted to show you how that works. Of course, we can also test if the model works in Ollama by running Ollama run followed by the model name. And let's just send a message like, hey, and cool, we're getting a response back from the model. So that was all set up correctly. In Odysseus, all we have to do now is run the command setup. And instead of connecting it to one of these paid providers, after all, the whole point of Odysseus is to create an environment that you control. So you can definitely connect it with one of these providers, but think about that. Even if you're running all of this locally and you send all of your prompts or your inference to OpenAI or Anthropic or even OpenRouter, you don't really know how they're intercepting those messages and using it. So just read their terms and conditions. What we want though is this local option over here. So set up local. And now we have to provide the domain to our Ollama instance or our Ollama server, which is currently running on our machine. For Ollama, we can simply pass this URL over here, /v1. Let's send this. And it's saying you're all set, type /tour for a walkthrough. All right, cool. And now in the model selection, we do actually see the model that we just downloaded. And I can prove that to you if I run Ollama list. Qwen 3.6 35 billion parameter is the only model that I've downloaded on Ollama, and that's what we see there. And let's say, hey, and we get our response back already. How cool is that? But if you're anything like me, I love using LM Studio for local inference. This is kind of an alternative to Ollama. They each have their pros and cons, but I like the performance that I get out of LM Studio. So if you don't want to use Ollama, download LM Studio. Then in LM Studio, simply go to this model search function over here. Then search for your model. Like in my case, it was Qwen 3.6. So just click on the model that you want, click on download. And afterwards, you'll see the model in this list. I've actually downloaded 3 for this demo. So we've got GPT OSS, Gemma 4, and Qwen 3.6. So if I just put these side by side for a second, what we can do is, I'm actually going to start a new chat. Let's run setup again. Let's select local. So you have to use local for both Ollama and LM Studio. Now, thankfully, it's very easy to find the IP address for LM Studio. When you click on this little terminal option, you can simply copy this IP, paste it in the chat, followed by v1. Let's run this. And now it's saying you're all set. And if we go to the model selection, now we do see the models that we downloaded on LM Studio as well. In fact, this is showing the models on Ollama as well as LM Studios. It seems like we can combine the two. So let's just see if LM Studio is working. Let's select GPT OSS 20B and let's ask it something like, please write some sample Rust code. Let's send this and we do get a response back. Great. Right, let's keep exploring Odysseus. So in the chat window, we can switch between chat mode and agent mode. In chat mode, we can have a very simple conversation with a chat model. And in agent mode, we can do a few more really cool things, like give the agent access to web search. We can also give it shell access so that it can actually run commands within its own little isolated environment. When we click on this drop-down, we can also attach files, documents. We can even select a workspace that this agent can work in. And we can also change the prompt of this session. So I don't know, let's do something like respond like a pirate. Let's start the prompt. And of course, our agent is responding like a pirate. So if you ever wanted to change the behavior of your agent, simply make the change over here. All of these menu items with the red icons are sort of the main navigation of this app. So we can search through conversations, we can view our chat history, we can even pull in an email account. So really all you have to do is go to settings, integrations, add an integration, go to email, and now you can provide the connection details of your email address to pull emails into your Odysseus session. And that way you can also use AI to interact with your emails. In fact, I can't help myself. Let's see if we can hook up an email address. So under the provider, we can select between like Gmail. You will have to generate an app password from Gmail. But let's say we just want to go with something very custom with like an SMTP server. So I just created like a temporary email account in my Leon van Zyl domain called Odysseus. And I'm just going to set up all of these host details for the incoming side and outgoing side. And then I'll save this. Right, so I've entered my details. Let's click on test. This seems green, so let's create this email account. Then let's go to email. I've just received the emails, and this actually includes the email from Gmail as well. So what we can do now is get AI to reply to this. We can also get AI to do a summary for us. So let's try all of this. Let's do AI reply. I'm not available on Friday. I'm available on Saturday. Let's do fast. AI is drafting the reply, and something is happening. I can see this little spinner over here, and LM Studio is going crazy on the side. If you were interested to know what model is being used for each of those tasks, we can go to settings, we can go to AI defaults. So for the default chat model, it's this. For the utility models, it is this. Let's actually go with LM Studio, and let's select Quen. For vision, I'm also going to go with the LM Studio model. For the research model, I'm also going to go with LM Studio's Quen 3.6. And what we can also do is go to the email tab, and from here we can actually specify our writing style. So we can maybe provide very clear instructions to the agents on the type of style we want to go for, like keep responses clean and warm. So let's save this. So I guess that's email. It can definitely be very useful. Odysseus also includes a second brain. So by default, there's really nothing in here, and we can add any memories or any information that we want. Like my name is Leon. And then this gets classified as identity or whatever. Let's just press enter, and this will save this new memory. So this means if we start a new chat, and let's ask what is my name, and then the agent is saying, based on the saved memory context, your name is Leon. The agent will also automatically remember details about us based on our conversations. My dog's name is Ruby. Remember this. And what's cool about this though, the agent gave us a response, and I've got LM Studio open on the side over here. So currently nothing is actually happening, right? So the model is chill. It's not running at all. And at the moment, if we go to our brain, Ruby's name has not been stored in the brain yet. And honestly, I have no idea what actually triggers this. So let's just send another message to see if this is actually going to wake this memory system up. I noticed the model was running even though we got a response. So maybe, yes. Now Ruby's name was stored to the memory file. So certain events seem to kind of trigger the brain to get updated automatically, but I just wanted to show you that. And if you ever wanted to remove any memories, you can simply delete it from this brain option as well. While we're on the topic of the brain, we can also use this to install agent skills. By default, we don't yet have any skills, so let's go to add, and then we can add skills from GitHub or from websites like skills.sh. Let's actually go to skills.sh and let's see if we can find any useful skills, like this humanizer skill. So this kind of detects like AI specific patterns when writing emails or, stuff like M dashes. What we can actually do is just copy this skill. I'm just going to remove the npx stuff so that we only point to the GitHub repository. Let's click on import. Then within this repository, we only have this single skill. So let's publish this. And let's start a new conversation. Let's run the command skills. And now we can see we only have the humanizer skill installed. Cool. Please write a LinkedIn post about the power of AI automation in small businesses. Please use the humanizer skill to make it sound more natural. All right, let's send this. And apparently just use the humanizer skill to make this seem a little bit less AI generated. I don't know, you can have a look at it. Maybe let me know down in the comments if you think this seems a little bit more human and natural. I can think that this skill would also be very useful if you combine it with responding to emails. All right, then one feature I'm really impressed by is the deep research feature. So let's just do something like, please can you do a deep dive into OpenRouter and find the best model that I can use that strikes a reasonable balance between cost and intelligence. Let's run this. And this is really cool. And I must admit, I even like this little interface where it shows you kind of the starting point, and this is going to branch out into doing research from different sources. As you can see, this really is very neat, and the end result looks really cool. But I do think it's time that we actually deploy this to a VPS so that we can access this from anywhere, and our agents like this deep research agent can run overnight and for as long as it needs to. Deploying Odysseus to a VPS yourself can be very technical and very hard. So the easiest solution I found is to deploy it via Hostinger. It's actually a one-click install. It couldn't be any easier. You don't have to worry about backup. You don't have to worry about exposing a secure endpoint. It just works. I'll link to this page in the description of the video. So all you have to do is select the package that fits your budget. So I'll go with the KMV2 plan. Then let's select the plan, so you can go from 1 month, 12 months, or 24 months. If you want, you can definitely choose your server location, so it's a little bit closer to where you live. And then what you can do is go to have a coupon code and enter the code Leon Odysseus, click on apply, and this will give you an additional 10% off. Then simply continue with the checkout process. While setting up your account, you will be provided a username and an admin password. So please store this information in a safe place. Right, so then what we can do is simply go to your VPS and you should see an overview like this. Then we can click on Open App. And this will ask you for your username and password. During the setup process on Hostinger, it should have provided you with a username and password already, but if you're anything like me and you tend to lose that information, don't stress. What we can do, what we have to do is go to Docker Manager, look for this entry starting with Odyssey, then click on Manage, then scroll down to Environment. And here you can see your Odyssey admin username and password. So for me, the admin user is this. And then I'm not going to show my password, but of course you can view and change it from here. Then back on this page, let's simply provide our username and password and sign in. Beautiful. Now we've got Odysseus running in the cloud and we can access it from anywhere, but we can't select the model yet. So this is a bit of a problem. How can we connect the model to this VPS? Well, if we go to Cookbook, if you remember correctly, Cookbook can be used to try and figure out what model can run on your hardware, but we have to be realistic here, guys. You need a powerful GPU to run models, and this is not realistic when it comes to a VPS. So you can try to run any of these models, but I think for this VPS, I'm just going to use OpenRouter. So let's do this. We can enter the command /setup and OpenRouter. Now all we have to do is paste in our OpenRouter API key. Now, if you're new to OpenRouter, it's this unified platform where you get access to pretty much any model you can think of. This includes models from Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, and you even have access to free models. So simply sign into your account, then go to credits. Of course, if you are using a paid model, you will need credit on your account. So simply add some credits, then go to API keys, and I'll create a key for Odysseus. Let's copy this key, let's send it in the chat, and Odysseus is saying we're all set. And if we click on this drop down now, man, we have access to a lot of different models. Like I mentioned, we've got access to Anthropic's models, we've got access to, open source models like DeepSeek, Google. The sky is the limit. Let's see if we've got access to Haiku. So let's select Claude Haiku 4.5. Let's say, hey, and this is now calling Claude, and that was really quick. Of course, we can connect our email account again. We can add skills. We can do everything that we did locally in the cloud instance as well. The only difference is we can now access these from anywhere. I would definitely recommend setting your AI defaults if you are running this on a VPS, because I'm not sure what this is going to default to. So I think I'll just default this to whatever the latest Sonnet model is, and everything else can just sort of inherit that model. I'm okay with that. So if I start a new chat now, let's run it with Sonnet latest. I'll just say, hey, and this is working. Let's also try to run some kind of deep research. Please give me a detailed report comparing the features, costs, pros, and cons of all the state-of-the-art models from the top providers. And now I've got this really cool agent running in the background doing deep research for us. I can close my browser now, I can switch off my PC, and I can access my Odysseus instance from my mobile device. So what do you guys think about Odysseus? Is this popular because of PewDiePie's popularity, or do you think there is a demand for tools like this that place the privacy and the power into the user's hands? Personally, I think there is a demand for software like this. I can already think that's something that can compete with the likes of Claude Cowork, but where you own the data, you can self-deploy it, you can use any model you want, including local models. That really is where we need to be. I don't think we should lock ourselves into any specific provider. So any platforms like this that open it up so that you can choose what models you want to use, what providers you want to use, is absolutely welcome in my eyes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more agentic coding tutorials. Also consider joining my community, Agentic Labs. This is where I upload exclusive tutorials like my Agentic Coding Masterclass that takes you through all the fundamentals of working with coding agents. This even includes a complete SaaS build. This is where we build a real-world application all the way from start to finish. This includes user authentication, payments, everything. I also created this Claude Code Classroom with exclusive videos on Claude Code, and we just started adding videos to this classroom today. We also have live sessions every week, so every Wednesday you can dial in and you can chat to me about anything. I'll leave a link to Agentic Labs in the description of this video, and I do hope to see you there. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.